I are excited to tell our story about the Symphony journey. We represent hundreds of associates from both in the room, from Accenture, Oracle, and Accenture, as well as our teammates back in St. Louis in our corporate office, as well as across the country. When you think about our project, on the surface it may seem like a PeopleSoft implementation of HR, finance, supply chain, payroll, and that's it. But when you look at the bigger story, you see that it's more about, as Scott said, nationalizing all of our hospitals across the country, standardizing processes, and looking at centralization. That's really what we accomplished when we started out on this journey. But as I sat here yesterday looking at the presentations, I have to tell you it was a little bit daunting to think about, you know, we're probably a couple years behind the 8 ball on some of our technology. When I looked at the Oracle presentation, when you saw the logos of who's in the cloud, I could be mistaken, but I don't think I saw any hospitals on that list. So in healthcare, we have some challenges that probably some of your companies don't have. Our margin from a hospital perspective is about 3 or 4%. That's all that we accomplish when we have a really good year. And when you think about how much healthcare is changing, we have to make sure that our technology for caring for the patients is our #1 priority. And then if we have money left over, then we can invest that in IT technology. When you look at the statistics of investment in capital for IT, healthcare is one of the lowest on the market. So despite these obstacles, we were able to get money funded for our project, and Fran and I are here to tell you the story today. So who is Ascension? We have operating revenues of $20 billion when we look at all of our facilities across the country. When we went on this journey about 6 years ago, our vision for 2020 in Ascension was 3 strategic initiatives. We wanted to provide healthcare that was safe, right? We want to make sure our patients are getting the best care possible. We wanted to provide healthcare that works so that we have caregivers who have the right tools, equipment, and resources to do their job. And lastly, we wanted to provide healthcare for everyone. And we've kind of accomplished that, on behalf of the public government as well with Obamacare, but that was our strategic initiative. When we looked at our Symphony program, we kind of fell into the bucket of healthcare that works. How do we make life easier for our caregivers so they can spend more time taking care of patients? How do we cut costs across Ascension? And how do we get access to data? At those times, if you asked us, look how many associates we have, how many of those are nurses? We didn't have the information on that because each of our hospitals was operated very independently. But now, as a result of our journey, you'll see that we have that type of information. So this is all of the states where we do business. So when you look at this map, you may think, okay, Linda, why did you guys specialize here in the Midwest, it looks like, or in the South? What was your strategy around that? Well, what's great about this picture is that this strategy was developed based on our history of being a Catholic organization, largest in the world, as you saw previously, that this was developed based on our history with our sisters and brothers who came to the United States 150 years ago and started communities in some of these cities founded by the sisters, and we had basically 5 different groups of religious that formed these organizations that then eventually became part of Ascension in 1999. We had the Daughters of Charity, we had the Sisters of St. Joseph of Carondelet, the Sisters of St. Joseph of Nazareth, the Sisters of Our Sorrowful Mother, and the Alexian Brothers. And these were really the foundation of how we became Ascension. So when you look at this map, it was really based on the history of our religious foundings.
And can you imagine, coming from Europe, mainly from France, nuns by themselves, getting on donkey carts or some kind of buckboard, traveling across the country, right? And they were fighting everything you could imagine. There were all kinds of impediments. And they found themselves in a locality that needed health care.